Hey Stoics, welcome back to Mindful Stoicism. Have you ever felt heartbreak? It's one of the deepest wounds we experience as human beings. The betrayal, the pain, the sleepless nights, it consumes us, leaving us vulnerable, raw, and desperate for answers. In those moments, revenge may seem like the ultimate solution, a way to make them feel the same pain they inflicted upon you. But let me ask you this, will that truly heal your soul, or will it just prolong the suffering? Before you act on that impulse to strike back, pause. Because what if I told you there's a better way? A way to not just move on, but to transform your pain into unshakable power. Stay with me, and I'll show you exactly how to take control of your life and make them regret losing you without uttering a single word of revenge. Revenge might feel satisfying in the moment, but it's a hollow victory. It keeps you tethered to their actions, giving them control over your emotions. You're no longer living for yourself, you're living for them. True healing begins when you let go of the need to retaliate. And this isn't about being weak, it's about being wise. The Stoics believed that external events like betrayal are beyond our control. What we can control is our response. Revenge traps you in the past, but self-mastery frees you to step into a brighter future. So, how do you shift your focus from them to you? Let me share 3 Stoic principles that will change everything. Step 1. Embrace the power of detachment. When your heart is broken, the natural instinct is to hold on. Hold on to the memories, to the feelings, and unfortunately, to the pain. This attachment often stems from the belief that you need closure, or that somehow clinging to the emotional turmoil will give you control over the situation. But in reality, the more you hold on, the deeper the hurt embeds itself into your soul. This is why detachment is not just an option, it's a necessity. Detachment does not mean you stop caring or that you become numb to your emotions. It's a common misconception that detaching is the same as being heartless or apathetic. In fact, detachment is the opposite. It's about acknowledging the pain and feelings, but refusing to let them dominate your thoughts and actions. Detachment allows you to observe your emotions without becoming enslaved by them. Think of it as stepping outside of yourself, watching your thoughts and feelings as if you're an outsider. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What this means is that while you cannot control the actions of the person who hurt you, you can control how you respond to that hurt. Your emotions may scream at you to act out, lash out, or seek validation from the very person who broke your heart. But embracing detachment gives you the clarity to respond in a way that protects your peace. Detachment starts with understanding that people's actions are a reflection of them, not of you. Their betrayal, dishonesty, or neglect is rooted in their own struggles, insecurities, or flaws. It is not a measure of your worth. By detaching, you separate your value from their behavior. You recognize that their actions are outside your sphere of control, and therefore, they are not worth your energy or emotional investment. One powerful way to embrace detachment is to shift your focus inward. Instead of dwelling on questions like, "Why did they do this to me?" or "What could I have done differently?" ask yourself, "What can I do to heal and grow?" Journaling is an effective tool for this process. Write down your emotions, your thoughts, and even your anger, but don't stop there. Use your journal as a space to set intentions for moving forward. Another key aspect of detachment is removing triggers that keep you tethered to the past. Block their number, unfollow them on social media, and avoid places or activities that bring them to mind. While it may feel harsh, these boundaries are essential. Detachment requires distance, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. Meditation is another powerful practice that can help you master detachment. When you meditate, you learn to let thoughts and emotions pass through your mind like clouds in the sky. You don't chase them or try to hold on to them, you simply let them be. Over time, this practice helps you gain control over your reactions, allowing you to remain calm and centered, even in the face of emotional pain. Finally, remember that detachment is not a one-time event, it's a process. Some days you'll feel strong and unaffected, while other days the pain may resurface. This is normal. Detachment isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each time you choose to focus on your peace instead of your pain, you're reclaiming your power. Embracing the power of detachment is the first and most crucial step in transforming heartbreak into healing. It shifts your energy away from the person who hurt you and back to where it belongs, on yourself. When you master detachment, you don't just survive heartbreak. You rise above it, becoming stronger, wiser, and more at peace with yourself. Step 2. Turn pain into growth. Pain, especially the kind caused by heartbreak, is a force to be reckoned with. It can consume you, leaving you feeling lost, powerless, and overwhelmed. But what if you could take that pain and channel it into something extraordinary? Pain, when viewed through the right lens, becomes an opportunity, a catalyst for growth, transformation, and reinvention. The Stoics believed that adversity is not a curse but a gift, a chance to fortify your character and build resilience. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very obstacle you face, the heartbreak, the betrayal, can be the foundation for your evolution. Instead of letting the pain break you, let it build you. The first step in turning pain into growth is shifting your mindset. When you view heartbreak as something done to you, you feel like a victim. But when you see it as something that happened for you, everything changes. Heartbreak strips away the illusions you may have held about yourself, your relationships, or even the world. It forces you to confront your vulnerabilities, your mistakes, and your deepest desires. These moments of raw honesty, though uncomfortable, are where true growth begins. Start by asking yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Maybe it's the realization that you gave too much of yourself to someone who didn't deserve it. Or perhaps it's the understanding that you ignored red flags in the name of love. Whatever the lesson, embrace it. Write it down. Reflect on it. Growth begins with awareness, and awareness comes from facing the truth, no matter how painful it might be. Once you've identified the lessons, channel your energy into action. Pain has a unique way of igniting a fire within you. Use that fire to fuel your passions and goals. Focus on improving yourself in every area of your life. Work on your physical health by hitting the gym or taking up a new sport. Strengthen your mind by reading, learning new skills, or pursuing a long-held dream. Invest in your emotional well-being through meditation, journaling, or therapy. Think of this period as your personal renaissance, a time to rebuild yourself stronger, wiser, and more self-aware than ever before. When you pour your energy into self-improvement, two things happen. First, you begin to see yourself in a new light. You realize that your worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion or actions. Second, you start creating a life that is so full and fulfilling that you no longer have room for the pain they caused. And here's the beauty of turning pain into growth. The transformation is visible. As you grow, your confidence, independence, and self-worth radiate outward. People notice. The same person who broke your heart may look back one day and realize they lost someone truly irreplaceable. But by then you'll be so far ahead, so content with your new self, that their validation will no longer matter. Heartbreak can feel like an ending, but it's actually a beginning. It's an invitation to redefine who you are and what you stand for. So, when the pain feels unbearable, remember, it's shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. Turn the hurt into fuel. Let it drive you to rise higher, dream bigger, and live fuller than you ever thought possible. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Choose growth. Choose to transform. Choose to thrive. Step 3. Master the art of indifference. The ultimate stoic move? Indifference. Not anger, not sadness, but indifference. This is not about pretending you don't care or bottling up your emotions. It's about genuinely freeing yourself from the emotional grip of the situation. Indifference, in the Stoic sense, is the art of remaining calm and unshaken regardless of what happens around you. It's about recognizing that their actions no longer define your worth, dictate your emotions, or control your peace. When someone breaks your heart, your natural response might be to dwell on the pain or to obsess over the why behind their actions. This overthinking pulls you into a vortex of emotional turmoil, keeping you attached to the source of your suffering. The Stoics teach us that this attachment is what causes true pain, not the event itself, but our reaction to it. Indifference is the antidote to this suffering. To master the art of indifference, you first need to reframe your perspective. Ask yourself, does their opinion, rejection, or betrayal truly diminish my value? The answer is no. Your worth is inherent. It's not tied to the way someone treats you or the way they perceive you. Once you internalize this truth, you'll find it easier to detach emotionally. Indifference doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them control you. Picture your emotions as passing clouds in the sky. You see them, you feel their presence, but you don't cling to them. Instead of obsessing over why they hurt you or what they're thinking now, focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, and your peace. One of the most effective ways to cultivate indifference is by practicing mindfulness. When you catch yourself replaying painful memories or imagining revenge scenarios, pause. Bring your attention to the present moment. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. All you truly have is the present, and in this moment, you can choose to let go. Another key to mastering indifference is to stop seeking closure or validation from the person who hurt you. Closure is a gift you give yourself. Waiting for their apology or explanation only keeps you tethered to them. You don't need their words to move on. Your healing is your responsibility, and it begins with letting go of the need for external validation. Here's the beauty of indifference. It empowers you. When you no longer react to their actions, you take back the power they once had over you. They can no longer manipulate your emotions or draw you into their chaos. You become untouchable, grounded, and free. Ironically, indifference often has an unexpected effect on the person who hurt you. The moment they realize their actions no longer affect you, they may begin to question their choices. They may start wondering why their absence doesn't faze you, why you've moved on with grace and strength. This silent response is far more impactful than any act of revenge. Indifference is not about being cold or detached from life. It's about choosing what deserves your energy and attention. By mastering indifference, you align yourself with inner peace and emotional freedom. You prove to yourself and to the world that your happiness doesn't depend on others but comes from within. Remember, indifference is not about being cold, it's about being free. Free from the emotional chains they tried to bind you with. Here's the irony. The moment you stop caring is the moment they start noticing. Think about it. When someone hurts you, they often expect you to crumble under the weight of that pain. They imagine you consumed by thoughts of them, replaying every conversation, overanalyzing every moment, and questioning your worth. But when you stop reacting, when you choose to rise above, it disrupts their expectations. Your silence becomes deafening to them. They'll begin to wonder why their absence doesn't affect you. They'll ask themselves questions they didn't think they'd have to. Did I make a mistake? Did I underestimate their strength? Have they moved on? These thoughts can be more haunting than any act of revenge. It's human nature to want what we can't have and to chase after what no longer chases us. They may start wondering why their absence doesn't faze you, why you've moved on with grace and strength. This silent response is far more impactful than any act of revenge. Indifference is not about being cold or detached from life. It's about choosing what deserves your energy and attention. By mastering indifference, you align yourself with inner peace and emotional freedom. You prove to yourself and to the world that your happiness doesn't depend on others but comes from within. Remember, indifference is not about being cold, it's about being free. Free from the emotional chains they tried to bind you with. Here's the irony. The moment you stop caring is the moment they start noticing. Think about it. When someone hurts you, they often expect you to crumble under the weight of that pain. They imagine you consumed by thoughts of them, replaying every conversation, overanalyzing every moment, and questioning your worth. But when you stop reacting, when you choose to rise above, it disrupts their expectations. Your silence becomes deafening to them. They'll begin to wonder why their absence doesn't affect you. They'll ask themselves questions they didn't think they'd have to. Did I make a mistake? Did I underestimate their strength? Have they moved on? These thoughts can be more haunting than any act of revenge. It's human nature to want what we can't have and to chase after what no longer chases us. By detaching, you become that mystery, that enigma they can't quite figure out. In their curiosity, they'll start to feel the weight of what they lost. They'll realize that the power they once held over you has vanished. And that's when they'll understand something profound. They didn't just lose your presence. They lost someone irreplaceable, someone who had the strength to choose peace over drama, growth over stagnation, and self-respect over desperation. So, if someone broke your heart, don't take revenge. Revenge is a short-lived satisfaction that ultimately leaves you feeling empty. Instead, detach. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring altogether. It means you care about yourself more. It's about prioritizing your well-being, your peace, and your future over the temporary satisfaction of getting even. Detachment is the ultimate act of self-love. Then grow. Channel that heartbreak into something meaningful. Learn a new skill, pursue a passion, or focus on your health. Let your evolution be the story you tell, not your pain. Growth is the ultimate way to show that you are more than what happened to you. When you thrive, you don't just heal, you inspire. You become living proof that pain can be transformed into power. And finally, rise. Rise above the situation, above the person who hurt you, and above the need for their acknowledgement. When you rise, you show the world and yourself that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's actions. Your silence, your peace, and your progress will speak volumes. They will echo louder than any words of anger or acts of retaliation ever could. The greatest revenge isn't hurting the person who hurt you. It's becoming someone they'll never forget, someone they'll look back on and think, I wish I'd treated them better. But here's the thing. By the time they realize your worth, it won't matter anymore. You'll have moved on to better things, better people, and a better version of yourself. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Mindful Stoicism. Here we believe in empowering the mind and spirit to find peace, purpose, and strength in every situation. Remember, you deserve happiness, freedom, and success, not because someone else says so, but because you decide it for yourself. See you in the next video. Stay strong, stay wise, and stay true to yourself.